Okay, guys. Things aren't looking good for Mifepristone because unfortunately the judiciary is filled with a bunch of anti-abortion jackals. Now, it seems that the abortion pill case, the Mifepristone case, is going to be heard by conservative anti-abortion panel. And let's see. So this is the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals panel in New Orleans. And the judges are Jennifer Walker Elrod, who upheld a Texas law making it more difficult for abortion clinics to operate in the state, James Ho, who has called abortion a moral tragedy, and Corey Wilson, who supported abortion bans as a Mississippi state legislature. So, yeah. This is why it's annoying when people are saying how, judges shouldn't comment, or in the recent Wisconsin Supreme Court race, people shouldn't be talking about how they would vote on something, meaning what their values are. And we can see their judicial history. We know what side these people are on. It's not like they're going to all of a sudden decide that the lawman all this time was saying something different than what they thought. We know how these people rule. So I fail to see why that was even an issue. So we know that these people are very conservative. They're anti-abortion. Now, just before I continue with this article, let's talk about the way we phrase the debate. We have anti-abortion, which you assume that the opposite end is pro-abortion. Now, granted, I do not like the term pro-life either, because a lot of these people are only caring about a fetus and don't give a shit about the child after it's born. That is true. So I do not like pro-life. Forced birth, that's a good one. But lately I've been seeing anti-abortion. Now, the problem with this term, besides the fact that the opposite is pro-abortion, is that a lot of the people who are anti-abortion will have an abortion if they need it, because they're fucking hypocrites. Now, this is why I prefer pro-choice as opposed to pro-abortion, because nobody is pro-abortion except for maybe anti-natalists. But nobody in generally nobody in the pro-choice movement are actually pro-abortion. They are pro let the woman decide if that's what's best for her, which is not pro-abortion. That is truly pro-choice, because a lot of the people in the pro-choice movement actually probably wouldn't have an abortion themselves, but they would like to have that available if something horrible happens and they need to have an abortion. Like, say, a miscarriage. Guess what? The healthcare for a miscarriage is an abortion, because the fetus has to come out somehow. So there are reasons why normally people who would never ever think of having an abortion might end up having to have an abortion. That doesn't make them pro-abortion. That makes them pro-choice. So it annoys me to know it. Now, anti-abortion, I get that, because a lot of these people claim that abortion is bad. Unfortunately, a lot of those same people, if put in the right position, will all of a sudden insist on an abortion and then just cover it up because, oh my God, we can't be seen as hypocrites or something. So, anti-abortion, yes, but they're hypocrites about it. So, anyway, off that soapbox. Let's see. The 3 judges, one didn't respond to comment. One said they do not comment on pending cases, and the third referred Reuters to the court clerk's office, which said it could not comment. So the third one actually gave Reuters the runaround instead of making a judgment either way, which is hilarious if you think about it, because she's a judge, but whatever. So, for those who don't know, Mifepristone is a part of the 2-drug regimen used in medication abortion, which accounts for more than half of U.S. abortions. Led by the recently formed Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, abortion foes claimed in a lawsuit last year that Mifepristone is dangerous and that the FDA approved it unlawfully in 2000. Scientific studies have overwhelmingly concluded that the drug, which has been used by millions of women, is safe. Now, first off, let's talk about the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, which is taking the Hippocratic Oath and twisting it, because that's why it's called the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, which states, first, do no harm. Now, yes, that is the first line of the Hippocratic Oath, but you know what? That doesn't just include the fetus. That includes the woman. So basically, you're saying that the only person that's harmed in an abortion is the fetus. The woman is not harmed but the woman, however, is never harmed by going through with a pregnancy. What the hell? That is not the way harm works. So anyway, also, now, even if you conclude that science is bunk and, you're not going to believe these studies, which I just have a question, and do you ever go see a doctor? If you do, then you're a fucking hypocrite. Stop. Whether I'm saying stop being a hypocrite or stop going to a doctor, that is up to you to interpret. I don't care either way. So, but since this drug has been approved, there has been no studies that have shown that there have been complications. It's been shown that this has been safe and effective time and time again every time a woman has a medical abortion. So to insist that the FDA made a mistake, even if you found a mistake in the initial studies, the fact that millions of women have used it and they've been fine just proves that the FDA was right to approve it in the first place. So it's just mind-boggling that people keep pulling shit out of their ass and not giving one iota of a thought about reality. So, as a little background for those who are unaware of this case, U.S. District Judge Matthew Kaczmarek in Amarillo, Texas last month sided with the plaintiffs, finding they were likely to win, and suspended Mifepristone's approval while their lawsuit goes forward. The U.S. Supreme Court put that order on hold, which surprised the hell out of me, meaning that Mifepristone remains available while the case is appealed. In filings last week, the FDA and Mifepristone maker Danco Laboratories said Kaczmarek's order would both harm the public and destabilize the pharmaceutical industry. I'm more concerned about harm to the public than the latter, but whatever. The plaintiffs are expected to file a response brief later on Monday, which I don't know. I assume they're meaning next Monday, or that this article, since it's Tuesday, so maybe this article was written before the response? I don't know. Despite those who insist on playing politics and endangering the lives of girls and women, we look forward to a final outcome in this case that will hold the FDA accountable, Eric Baptist, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, said in a statement. Oh, the irony. My irony meter just blew up and I have a headache now. Seriously? You literally said what should have been, what the FDA should be saying. I mean, you're the only one who is playing politics here. Because guess what? And I've mentioned this before. Abortion is healthcare, and it's none of your goddamn business what kind of healthcare a woman receives. Because it's none of your damn business. A woman's healthcare is her business. She gets to decide what type of healthcare she needs, along with her doctor. That is why lawyers do not have medical degrees, because they don't practice medicine. And it's not their damn job to tell a doctor how to practice their job. Just like they wouldn't want a doctor to tell them how to be a lawyer, lawyers do not get to tell doctors how to be physicians. That is just how it works. So, yeah, the only people playing politics are the forced birthers. They are literally the only ones playing politics. And I've already explained why this isn't harmful to women and girls, because I would think doing things like, I don't know, having a rapist's baby, especially when you're, 10, but at any time, would be traumatic. And how is that caring about the health of a woman or a girl? It's not. Because unless it's physical health, these people don't give a shit. Mental health is a part of health, dipshits. You need to let the doctors worry about the health of their patients, because it's their damn jobs. Your job is to follow the law. Or, if you really had a problem with this drug, the FDA has its own procedure as to how to bring up a complaint. But you decided to go through the courts. So that just says right there that you're not actually interested in good faith concerns about Mifepristone. Your only concern is political. Because going through the FDA's process wouldn't shine a light on what you're doing, and so you don't get to say, look at me, I'm trying to ban abortion. Ugh. Okay. Ho, who was appointed by former Republican President Donald Trump, was part of a Fifth Circuit panel that in 2019 blocked Mississippi's 15-week ban on abortions, but in a separate opinion spoke out against the constitutional right to abortion. Well, at least he blocked the ban, but... So, maybe since he blocked the ban, maybe he might rule in favor of the FDA? That's possible. The Supreme Court's conservative majority last year used the same case to overturn its landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade decision and find that there was no right to abortion enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. But there is a right to privacy and your health care. And since abortion is health care, well, what do you know? In 2021, Ho was in the majority in a 2-1 ruling refusing to block Texas's 6-week abortion ban. Okay, that's weird. The Supreme Court later let that law go into effect. Okay, so he blocked a 15-week, but not a 6-week. Okay, so God knows what was wrong with that ban, that there must have been some technicality then. Ho last month also spoke to the conservative Federalist Society's Dallas chapter in defense of Kashmir, who he called a friend, after the Washington Post reported the then nominee did not disclose to the U.S. Senate ahead of his confirmation hearing a law review article he helped write that criticized protections for people seeking abortions. Elrod, who was appointed by former Republican President George W. Bush in 2019, wrote the majority opinion of a Fifth Circuit decision striking down a key part of the Obamacare health insurance law. Wilson, another Trump appointee as a state legislator, voted to ban abortion once fetal cardiac activity is detected around 6 weeks. And there's dispute whether it's really cardiac activity or if it's something else. So whichever party loses the appeal would be able to ask for an en banc rehearing from the full circuit court, rehearing from the full circuit Fifth Circuit Court, which has 12 Republican appointees among 16 active judges serving on the court, and then appeal to the Supreme Court. Okay, so they still have a couple of options. But yeah, it doesn't look good for this option, so hopefully it'll move on to the full Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, because I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court is still desperately trying to find an excuse as to why to strike down the availability of Mifepristone. I'm sure they're desperately doing that. That's why they kept having stays, because they just are desperately trying to find reasons why they can ban that. But anyway, that's the latest on the Mifepristone case. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.